Hello and assalamu alaikum to my dear audience and my dearest students. Today's lecture is basically the conclusion of previous lecture, that is about the social structure of the society. In previous lecture we had discussed about the social status in order to understand the society structure. Today I would like to conclude it by understanding the importance of the role. So now role is basically like status, is also central to the social interaction and the social structure. So these two concepts will go hand in hand and parallelly to elaborate the importance of the society. Role, what is role actually now? Role is basically a behavior expected of someone in a particular status. Each of us has basically a status in the society that we had discussed earlier in the previous lecture. So in each status we have to perform certain roles, we have to perform certain responsibilities, and those responsibilities are being expected from the society about us. For example, if we are a son, if we are a daughter, if we are a teacher, if we are a student, we have certain responsibilities, and these responsibilities are being decided, are being expected by the society of us. Like previously we had discussed the example of a doctor. So the doctor has to perform number of expectations that are identified by the society in his or her status. Now roll together illustrate a role set. It means that if a person has to perform multiple responsibilities in a single status, and that will become a role set. All of the roles that go with a single status, like that doctor which has to perform the duties and responsibilities of the medication in a hospital or in a clinic. At the same time, he or she will be a mother or a father, a son or a daughter, a husband or a wife, and so on. So altogether those responsibilities will become a role set for him or her. Now, children, it is very important to understand that performing multiple roles in a single status may will get into a contradiction, may will get into a sufferance as well. So when a person will feel or he or she may will find it difficult to perform all the responsibilities at once in a single status, they will get into sociologically set phenomena, a role conflict. The roles for different statuses that a person holds may conflict with each other. This is known as role conflict. Okay, so I think it is also been elaborated by the example of the doctor who is also a mother. I find it difficult to devote long working hours required of her job and concurrently fulfill the expectations of being a parent. The doctor who was a mother, she has to devote long working hours. That is the need of the job. But at the same time, she is also a parent as well. So she has to perform the responsibilities domestically at the household level to upbring her children as well. So she may will find it difficult to perform those all the responsibilities at once. But still, please do realize that I had used the word of may. Still, she has to manage those responsibilities. It means that he has to cope with those all the tasks she has to perform in a daily life. But when it comes to the role strain, it occurs when two or more roles associated with the single status are in conflict. Actually, now that conflict that was being dealt by the persons initially, now it actually happens. That is role strain, where when two or more roles will get into a conflict, will become a role strain for that person. For example, that doctor again, who was a mother as well, she ultimately has to may pick a single status in that specific responsibility, or single responsibility in that status, whether she has to perform the professional task or she may has to perform the task of the household level. So if it will get into that situation when a person will ultimately have to pick a one profession, even some of the times in the very bitter situation, that will become a role strain. Or it can either be elaborated in such a way that the doctors are supposed to serve the humanity across the board. They will not realize whether a person is from a high status or a low status, from a good race or a underprivileged race, or from a low cost or a high cost. They are supposed to serve humanity across all these phenomena. But when it comes to the real culture, when it comes to the real understanding of the society, we do differentiate, we do stratify people on the basis of their social statuses. It will also become a role strain then. The actual and the ideal position of the status or the responsibility may will decide about the role strain either. So how it could be overcome, this requires actually balancing of the expectations. Now society has to manage it as well as the person. Society will not exceed the expectations from a person, that the person may ultimately have to quit some of their tasks which are either necessary for them to perform. So expectations of the society must be on the kind of thing which should be in a balanced way. So if a person now will uh, leave a previous position and get into a new one, that will be referred as a role exit. When an individual stops engaging in a role previously that was central to their identity and begins the process of establishing a new identity, will become a role exit for them. Uh, it is very easily to understand through an example. When an individual retires from a job after a long career and must transit from the role of worker with deadlines and responsibilities to a new life, actually that is a life in which he is just answerable to himself then. So that will be a role exit. Even it can either be a shift of the position, a shift of the mobility from worker to, for example, a boss kind of category. So role exit is also quite possible. It can either be understood through some of the researches has been proven that a role strain may either provoke a person to get a role exit. Previously, that a person was suffering a lot in the role, and he or she has to decide something about whether to take a step or not. Then at that stage, after the role strain, they may will decide about a role exit. So it's all about the understanding of the social structure of the society, in which we are supposed to understand the social statuses, the social positions of the individuals, and the responsibilities attached with the social position. Hopefully, you understand the whole phenomena. If either you will find any difficulty to understand the phenomena of social status or the role, you may are free to contact me and to raise some of your queries. Thank you so much.